Hello and welcome to Nobo's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 47. The date today is the 23rd of March 2014. I hope this podcast turns out okay, because as you already know, I've been having a really off week, and I just have no idea if that's going to leak over into today's episode.
Early onset dementia.
I'm only 21, that's really early.
It's called early.
Yeah, that's pretty damn early though. There should be a separate pre-early dementia.
Well, that's it then. I've just diagnosed you.
Oh, thanks, Dr. McLuckable.
Yeah.
You could have picked that name, by the way, but you chose Mister.
I could have been Master or something, but no. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with you. What's wrong?
I don't know. I mean,
this has now turned into like a psychiatric sort of. How are you feeling?
Should I lie down? I can do that. I might sound a bit different.
Yeah, lie down.
There we go.
Are you feeling all right?
It's just been a tough week. I've had a tough time, you know.
Workload.
Donkey Kong. I've been playing that, so that's a stressful game, and that'll take it out of anyone, really.
I see. It's all starting to make sense now. Clearly, you're in love with your mother.
What? No. Well, in a mother-son relationship, sure, but not in any funny business.
I'm going full Freud with this. Freud.
God damn.
It's nasty stuff.
Damn you, Freud.
I know. What a weird guy he was.
If we want the serious answer, though, it's because I'm in my final year, so I'm doing a lot of uni work, and it's all going towards the big degree. So that means I've been a bit all over the place. So I've been half an hour late to 2 recording sessions this week, and that's definitely a record.
Can you beat it?
Oh, I can. I can just not show up next time. Which I'm
Will
sure
you beat it?
Yeah, I'm sure I've probably done that.
Oh no.
I don't know though. I won't. I will show up.
Okay, good. It was just a little slip in your otherwise very punctual lifestyle.
Well, it's like back in sixth form I was even worse, where I just wouldn't show up to certain things, and what happened one day is that I skipped history that was in the morning at like 9 o'clock, but then I came in later on, and then I showed up at the very end of the day because I needed to talk to my teacher about some work I had done, and he was like, "You're 5 hours late. It was this morning." I was like, I didn't want to go. So that was the latest I ever was.
Why would you miss history? History is such a great lesson.
Not all history.
What were you learning?
I wasn't there, so I'm assuming it was boring.
Well, let me guess. It was Hitler.
No, we didn't do Hitler. It was some British history or something.
Oh, yes.
Like the 60s or post-war World War II, I think it was.
Yeah.
Pretty boring stuff. People were just dirty and hungry and bored.
I don't know. You learn about Anthony Eden.
Who's that?
Prime Minister, and you learn about Chamberlain. Okay, it can be a little bit boring sometimes.
It's a little dull.
Yeah,
we haven't done much. Britain, since World War II.
Yeah, apart from like scandals, it seems, especially in the 60s. I think you're right.
Yeah, and the Falklands, I guess.
Yeah, you go further on. History, there's a lot of stuff in history. Who would have thought it?
You're not wrong with that statement. You're very correct. There's a lot of stuff.
The question I ask is, what does it have to do with video games?
Well, if you want the history of the last week, you've come to the right place, alright?
Oh, nice.
So, speaking of history, what about that new Assassin's Creed game, eh?
Oh.
See, that works.
I didn't learn about France. Oh, actually, I did. No, I didn't.
I didn't. France is boring.
I think I learned about every other country in World War II apart from France.
Well, I don't think anything really happened. There was Les Resistance, and then they were captured or something.
See, Italy, Russia, Germany, much more interesting. Yeah. Although we're not talking about World War II, we're talking about... Is it the French Revolution?
Yeah, so what it is that there was a leak where somebody said that there's going to be 2 new Assassin's Creed games, one called Unity and one called Comet. and Unity would come out on the PS4 and Xbox One, and Comet would come out on the 360 and PS3. So after that leak, there was also a screenshot that went along with that. So 2 days afterwards, Ubisoft were like, hey, here's a quick little trailer showing off some of the visuals of it, and actually confirmed what the rumour was. Now, they didn't confirm the current generation version Comet, but they did confirm Assassin's Creed Unity, which is set in Paris, assuming... people are assuming it's the French Revolution, but I don't think they actually said that. The leak did, but they didn't officially say it. Set in Paris, PS4, Xbox One and PC, and it will come out this holiday season. So Christmas 2014 is what they said. So we didn't really get that much to go on. It was just, the whole trailer is just a camera shot going through Paris. And one thing that I was thinking when I was watching that trailer is that every single, time in history or period in history looks exactly the same on the rooftops. That could have been from Assassin's Creed 2 or 1, because it's all just rooftops and buildings that are close together and dirty peasants. It's all just the same.
So, So are you saying that it's going to be rubbish?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just, I don't know how much you can make rooftops interesting. Of course, having the Eiffel Tower in a game, that's awesome. The Saboteur already taught us that. But just having the rooftops, I think something that Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 tried to move away from was the rooftops, because they had already done it for 4 games. So instead, Assassin's Creed 3 just had green fields, which were kind of dull, and then Assassin's Creed 4 had the sea, which was awesome. So the fact that they're going back to a place where it's all just rooftops was a little bit disappointing to see.
But... Well, actually, I have another point. But first, you remember last podcast, I think it was the last one, maybe the one before, we mentioned about Batman, and it's going to be an open world game that is dedicated to the next gen systems. Well, we've got another one.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity.
There's another one to look forward to. So they might make it good with that.
Yeah, but, we saw some graphics of it, and I guess I have to repeat what I said last week about Batman, is that just seeing the graphics isn't impressive. We have to see the scope. So it was kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to see that with this trailer. What we want to see is an assassin on top of the Eiffel Tower looking out on Paris, and then just see how much of the game it can actually load and how much you can actually see and be detailed while you're, that high up. That would be interesting, but just showing the streets, a bit dull.
Yeah. Although, we mentioned how with the next gen stuff, it's not graphics you're going to notice, it's going to be the amount of stuff they can render at a certain time, and that kind of stuff would really help with the Assassin's Creed games, because I never played a lot of them. I've played a few, and they always seem like it's just people randomly walking around a city. There's not too much sort of life to it, which is something they could do, hopefully, with the better hardware, is kind of make it seem like a more living, breathing city, which would be quite nice.
Well, I think with Assassin's Creed they chose having large crowds over having interesting AI, because the whole point is that you can blend in with a crowd. But then you have GTA, where I think GTA features a lot more, it's less people, but they might actually have a conversation, or you might be driving around and there'll be a shootout. So I would hope that they would move in that direction, because it would look really dumb if they just decided to double the amount of people on screen. Just have it just hordes of people just constantly, like it's on the tube in the underground. It's just the same level of just sneaking past people. But so I guess, that's the way they have to do it, actually make the people more interesting and actually do stuff.
Yeah. Now, the other point I have is, we mentioned this again as well a few weeks ago, is that, was that leak an actual leak?
It's hard to say, but I'm going to say yes with this one.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't some retailer just putting out the box art or something like that. I actually don't know the source of this leak. I think it was just a screenshot and then a bit of information, so I think this was an actual real leak, because it seems like I mean, it seems pretty convenient that they already had this trailer.
That's what I thought.
But it was a very basic trailer. And also something else is that I don't think this game is going to be called Unity. Because the reason why I think it's called Unity is because it's made with the Unity engine. So it's the new engine that they developed for the next generation consoles. And the name Unity just doesn't really fit Assassin's Creed, or it might fit the French Revolution, but the last game was called Black Flag. So Unity seems a bit too futuristic and weird. So I think that that was just the working name, and that did get leaked, so they quickly put this trailer together. But when we see the proper big reveal, then they'll have an actual proper subtitle for it.
Well, that makes sense. I think, people got a bit confused. They were like, what is this? What it's going to be called? That's a bit weird. But yeah, I think it's just a standing name, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so, because it is March, and I guess it is coming out this year, but I think they would rather have that big event where they show everything off, so they wouldn't go the leaking route anyway. Maybe with Watch Dogs, because that's what it's all about, but not Assassin's Creed.
The thing is, though, people seemed, the reaction I read seemed generally positive, but there were still people whining that it wasn't what they wanted. I mean, hey, it's the internet, so it's always going to be the way, but they really want to see either Victorian London or like Japan, like ancient Japanese sort of thing, with ninjas. Still not got it. People are even saying, oh, maybe it's going to have two cities, France and London. Like, really hoping. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case, but...
Well, if it's meant to take place in the French Revolution, it wouldn't make any sense if we went to London.
No. But the only thing they have going is that they could do a cool thing with, like, Jack the Ripper or something if they went to Victorian London.
Yeah, I would prefer London over this, because like I said, it just seems like it's just rooftops and the same old kind of buildings and stuff, and yeah, you got the unique Paris landmarks, but apart from that, because they already made that mistake by picking the wrong time period with Assassin's Creed 3. Like, nobody cared about the American Revolution. It turns out it was a very boring time to be in and to be a part of, because that's what you really want. You want to be a cool Assassin's guy in cool times in history. And when you're an Assassin's guy and it's pirates, that's awesome. And an Assassin's guy in Italy is also pretty good. But an Assassin's guy in the French Revolution, seeming how the American Revolution didn't pan out, I don't have high hopes for the French one. I don't know what really happened during that time, but I don't think it's anything... Like, out of everything you could pick, I don't think it's a solid choice.
Lots of beheadings.
Yeah, I guess. That's about it.
Do you like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that when Marie Antoinette was alive? French
Definitely.
Have cake and eat it too? I don't know anything about it. Like I said, I don't know much about France.
Joan of Arc? She was French, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was French. Not sure she was then.
Well, I think the French Revolution was when King Louis got his head cut off.
Maybe that's him in the trailer.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right, though. Something like that.
I mean, I guess it means that because nobody really knows that much about it, they can just twist it as much as they want to make it interesting. But they don't need to do that if they just picked Russia or Japan or London or anywhere else.
All I want is, well, French Revolution's good, but if they're going to sell it in France, sell it in 1980s France. Let me drive a car that's been chopped in half, and let me be Roger Moore in A View to a Kill. Then we have a nice shootout on the Eiffel Tower.
They're not going to remake A View to the Kill with the Unity engine. It's just not going to happen.
Not even if there's Mayday in it and Christopher Walken and... No?
No, sadly not.
Fine.
Maybe next year.
Maybe that's the next one.
But no, with this game, it just feels like a step backwards, because Assassin's Creed 4 did do things really differently, so to just go straight back to... because Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations all took place in, Italy, so I don't think France is that different from Italy, so this just feels like they're going back to that sort of model, which I can kind of understand, because apparently they've been working on it for 3 years, so the fact that they just stayed with that sort of like style of or the time period makes sense, but I can't see how this won't feel like a step backwards from being on a pirate ship and doing cool pirate assassin stuff.
Well, a lot of people noted that the trailer was very similar to the first Assassin's Seed.
Yes, a Assassin's Seed.
That's what it's called. Assassin's Creed trailer, all those years ago. So maybe they're just, almost remaking the first one in the next gen, but obviously not exactly the same. They're seeing what it looks like now in a way. Maybe they're kind of going back and retracing their steps.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although the first one took place in Jerusalem in the 12th or 11th century, one of those, and this one is the 1800s, I think. It's just so I guess that makes sense, but I don't know.
Something about the bell and the way it was told, that trailer is similar.
But then if that's what they were going for, that would work towards the whole it was leak on purpose thing, because they wouldn't have time to set up the trailer to be exactly like the first one if it was just a leak.
Well, there you go. There's some evidence. But I didn't see that. Well, I watched it afterwards, but there were some bells. Maybe they just like bells.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't like bells?
The
nice.
hunchback guy loved them. Couldn't get enough.
He has got to be in the game.
He's French.
Yeah, exactly. You meet Da Vinci. Why can't you meet Hunchback?
Yeah, and murder him.
Do you meet George Washington in the third one?
Oh, I think so.
You
Maybe.
do? You should.
Not sure.
Oh, okay.
There's some famous people in there, but I'm not sure if you actually do meet Washington.
Right. So they have had a past of, although Hunchback's not real, so maybe that's.
How dare you?
Something. Yeah, maybe they won't then. I
Crushing
don't know.
dreams over here.
Who knows? That'd be quite a nice little Easter egg, though.
Yeah, but no. So I didn't want the new Assassin's Creed to be boats again, because they already did it in. No, not that either. Sadly, but. What was I saying? So yeah, because they started it in 3 and made it really good in 4, so I wanted it to be something completely different. And the fact that it's just they took out the boats, and I don't know, they still have a chance. We haven't seen that much to it, so they might come out and say, "Hey, here's what's going to make this one unique." But it seems like it's the only thing that makes it unique is that it's next gen exclusive, and that's about it.
Are you saying? We're just going to have to wait
We
and see.
might have to wait and see on this one. I'm not too sure.
It's a trailer. What else are we going to say?
Yeah.
We can't say anything else.
A trailer they rushed out because it got leaked.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll see. And we'll wait.
All I want to see is the way the city feels.
What does that mean?
I don't know. If it's immersive, I don't know how immersive the other ones were. I wasn't particularly immersed in the second one.
Okay, so which ones have you played then? Just to
the
be
first
clear.
and the second one.
Okay, and what did you think?
The first one I thought was awful.
Oh no.
Well, at least the beginning was very boring. I don't know if it picked up. Second one was better, but it still kind of seemed a little bit just like this map with people walking around it, and you never really. I don't know. I'd like more random things.
So you want a bit more personality with your open world?
Yes.
You should probably play 4 then, if you still want to get into it. Because if you weren't that into 2, then you might as well skip Brotherhood and Revelations, and then 3 is a bit dull, so then I guess you got to go straight to 4. And that's my favourite one, so that's the one I would recommend.
Okay. The question I have for you is... you always say with open world games it's either got to be an interesting place or you can move in an interesting manner.
Mm-hmm.
How does that fit into the French backdrop?
It doesn't. I mean, Assassin's Creed started with an interesting way of moving with the, how acrobatic you are, because it's considered a spiritual successor to Prince of Persia with the way you move. And I think most people have forgotten that, but that's where it came from. So that was the interesting part. But if you're just moving in that same way on similar rooftops, then it's not interesting. And that's why I'm not that excited for this one, because if that's all we're doing again, then it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this is the 7th game now in the series, so it could wear out its welcome if it's just running on rooftops and jumping around.
What if you could ride in carriages?
Sure, I guess. I mean, there doesn't sound like there's much to that. I mean, I know Red Dead Redemption did it, and it was pretty cool. But that was just because being on a horse was cool.
Horses? What about riding on horses?
Well, they did that in the first game.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I remember correctly. And then they just dropped it because it was just a way of getting from one city to another, and that was about it.
So there's no hope for this game at the moment?
Well, at the moment, sure.
Okay. That's nice.
But no one cares about the French Revolution, and I can't think of anything that's distinct about that time period that they could flesh out and make into a interesting game.
Well, sure, maybe that's a good thing then, if not many people know about it. Well, not a good thing for making money, but it might teach them something.
Well, that's what 3 tried to do, and most people didn't like it.
But is that because it was that setting, or because it was a bad game?
Some would say it's a bad game, or both. Some would just say both, and I would just say it's a bad setting, and they just didn't... I don't know, there's like so much to do in that game, and it's really big that you can just... It's draining trying to do it all, and the story's not very interesting because it's set in the American Revolution, so... Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Okay. Alright, well... Yeah, I would have liked London more.
Sure.
Maybe we're just biased, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure French people will love it. They'll be like, oh, look, there's that building, and whatever.
Yeah, there's the
Ooh la la.
archway. C'est que bleu.
Yeah, they're like what's the Arc de Triomphe?
Well, the thing is that Americans didn't appreciate the American Revolution one, so I can't imagine the French will appreciate the French Revolution one.
Yeah, but what did that game have? Trees?
That's right.
Oh, that's my tree there.
I've been near that tree.
They might like the architecture more in France.
Sure, but I think that'll get old. Didn't save the Saboteur.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see and wait.
Oh,
Sometimes.
make it so people won't notice if you change the order.
Yeah, this is a completely different episode. Don't worry about it. Keeping it fresh.
Okay.
Whereas as fresh as Assassin's Creed right now, that's one thing to say.
Is it?
No, you had something there.
No, I didn't. No,
Oh.
honestly, no, it's fine.
Okay then. Let's move on.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing that got announced, because this week it's been GDC, the Game Developers Conference, where not that much really comes out. It's not like E3, but you still get some stuff that gets revealed. And the biggest thing that got shown was Project Morpheus. You know, what this is that this is Sony coming out and showing a prototype for their virtual reality headset. And there's not that many details about it because it's a prototype, but it's going to be for the PlayStation 4, 1080p display, it's full 360 positional tracking, and also you can use stuff like the PlayStation camera and the blue light on the DualShock to create a fully immersive experience. Now, you might remember that I said I didn't care about the Oculus Rift because I won't care about virtual reality until a real company does something with it.
I do not recall this.
That was my opinion.
Okay.
It was a brief one, but I was like, okay, it got kick-started, who cares? Like, I'm sure it's like a cool kind of thing, but if no games are being made for it, then I don't care. And for this one, I'm a bit more excited, because what this is that they're saying, hey, here's our thing, developers, you can now get your hands on it and try it out. So while there isn't really anything to be excited by right now, in a year's time we're going to see all these really cool, or hopefully really cool, virtual reality games where they're built, you know, specifically about having this thing on your head, and they can build the world around that. So based on that idea, this is pretty cool. And it's pretty cool that developers are now embracing this, although we don't have a list of actual developers who are going to be picking this up, but it's cool that big fish like Sony has gone all in at the moment.
I think this is great news.
Yes.
I think it's great. I think, and you could say you have your doubts about Oculus Rift. That's fine, but you have to say that without it, I doubt Sony would be doing this now. I think that was really pushed it. The Oculus Rift.
I think that's debatable.
I would say it's good that it's finally becoming more. Well, I don't know. Just imagine the future where virtual reality is just the norm with stuff. Wouldn't that be so cool?
That will
This
be.
is one step closer. It's amazing.
That's something.
This is the future.
Yeah, that's so weird, and it will happen in our lifetime. Because I remember as a kid where it's just you would watch like a 90s film, and then it would be set in the future. So they put on the goggles. It's like, whoa, I'm Surfer Guy. And then, of course, that was just some crazy future world where, in 100 years that will happen. And now we totally just have smartphones with touchscreens, and we got the internet, and now we're going to have virtual reality in like a year. And that's really exciting, just to see how far technology is just jumping as we're living.
Mm-hmm. And you're right, it's good now that, well, you say proper company, Sony,
A real company.
They've got their history in screens and digital displays, which would help hugely with stuff like virtual reality, because people are questioning how well it would actually run on the next gen system in terms of, sure, it could be 1080p and was it 60 frames per second?
Well, they haven't confirmed that because it's still a prototype, but I'm assuming that it can do it. It just depends on the game.
Well, yeah, people are saying that they're dubious of how good, for example, the textures would have to be to make it run like that. Obviously, we can't say anything because we don't know, but it would suck if there's all this hoo-ha about it, and then it has to be held back by the current consoles.
Well, I think they could figure it out because it's completely different. It's on your face, and that's all you can see. So your range of vision is going to be different. Like if you're playing a first-person shooter game, then it's actually going to be your eye, like looking at it, if you know what I'm trying to say. So I think draw distance isn't going to be that much of an issue, or they can actually dictate it more and create the game more around, they know exactly what the player can see and what the eye is going to focus on and see, so they can do it like that, because you're not always focusing on everything that's happening. So if it like tracks your eye, then I think they can work around it. I don't know, but I think they can.
Well, I just hope, as someone who suffers from travel sickness, I know that was a problem when they first started on the Oculus stuff. I think that's sort of been sorted out now. They've added some thing to it where it eliminates that problem.
A plastic bag, so you can throw up into.
Yeah, exactly. It'll come with one free plastic bag. As long as that's fine, because that's the worry I have. I'll put it on and I'll be like puking 5 minutes later.
I think you're always going to have that no matter what. Like with the 3DS, everyone who starts using it always has a bit of eye strain and it feels a bit off, but after a couple of weeks it kind of goes away. So I would assume the same thing would happen with this, because it's a thing on your face and it's all you can see and it's weird.
Do you suffer from travel sickness? It sucks.
I did when I was a kid, not so much anymore.
Okay.
But I never threw up. I just always felt a bit groggy and horrible.
That's my one concern, but I think by the time this is an actual product, that all these little things should be ironed out completely. So
yes. But the exciting thing about this is because you would think that, people, I can see why someone would make the comparison to like Kinect and stuff like that, because it's, it's a gimmick, it's this extra accessory. But the difference with the Kinect and this is that the Kinect was just a bad idea that they had to prove themselves with that idea. But with this one, and what Sony's backing, is that virtual reality is a good idea. So they still need the games to prove themselves, but I think people are going to be coming at this a little, with more positive attitude, because it's something they actually want to see, rather than just, oh, this can track your movement and it is cool, we swear, we're going to make games, it's going to be good. But virtual reality, anyone can get behind being fully immersed in a game.
Oh yeah, it's the next logical step, isn't it? That's why Kinect is so bad, is because it's not quite there. It's not quite virtual reality, and it's not quite, sitting and playing casually. It's in the middle, so it's like, you're not getting the best of anything. But once you get to that point where it's like, yep, it's on my face, I am in the game, and so they're gonna match it to the PlayStation Move, did they say?
Yeah, they're going to use all the other, like, the PlayStation Move, PlayStation Camera, so you can, like, fully be moving as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like, have your arm out and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know how to tackle walking, but who cares? I don't even care.
Well,
you just stand still.
On the PlayStation Move controller, there's an analog stick.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen that, that thing that some company was developing? It's like a treadmill basically, and you walk on that, and that acts as the way that you move in a game.
Oh,
it's so stupid.
How would that work with the treadmill changing speeds though?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But they were serious about this thing, and it's like, don't even bother.
Yeah, they would have to constantly change the speed, or it just would fall apart, or you're going at the same pace constantly.
Probably, yeah, something lame like that.
But if you play a video game, you're constantly changing your speed. I don't understand what game that could possibly work in.
Do you know what? I think if you had this strapped on your head, most people wouldn't even care about not being able to move. I think just having that sort of thing would be enough, at least for the time being. Unless people were particularly greedy. But I'm sure I would be content with like just looking around and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's all they kind of need to do. They don't need to go all in, because with the Kinect, I mean, if they start doing that, then it is just a Kinect, but the screen's right in your face, and that's what people don't like. It's the movement aspect, that you have to move around. So the smartest thing they can do is just take normal games, keep it with the controller, and then just adapt it slightly so it's more immersive with the headset. I mean, that's the best thing to do, so people can still sit down, have a controller, but just be more immersed in the game.
So good. It is just, it's all this stuff to come now. Now it's finally reached that point where it's like, yeah, we are capable of doing this.
Yeah, give it a year, we'll be right there, easy.
We'll be virtual reality podcasting.
Woo! Whatever that means.
I don't have a clue. I have a clue what that means, but it's the future.
It'd be just like Gamer. That
Gamer?
Gerard Butler film that came out like 2009, I think.
Really? I have not seen that.
It's not very good. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay then.
But no, so now the hacky thing to do, that we must do, is out of all the games that are already out, what would you most like to see? Or, what game would you want to see adapted for virtual reality?
Last of Us would be quite cool.
That would be cool. I mean, that would be quite horrifying. A clicker jumps on you.
I think people would kind of fall over or whack their head against something if they played that game. Could they sue PlayStation?
Well, they didn't sue Nintendo for breaking their TVs, or they probably tried, but it didn't happen, so I would guess no in the end.
What about suing Nintendo for the Virtual Boy, when they gave them all headaches?
Oh, I don't think they did sue.
Okay.
Like, Nintendo always loses court cases, but I don't think they sued over that. They were just like, this is terrible, and moved on.
It's not even worth my time. Something where it's very... It's the atmosphere and it's the tension, I think, would work quite well.
That would be horrifying, though, The Last of Us, because I'm picturing it's always first person. Now, I'm assuming that third person could work?
Yeah, because when there are things behind you, you'd have to physically look behind. That'd be terrifying. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then it's like with a clicker. The way the clicker kills you is that it jumps on you and bites your neck and rips it out, and then it cuts there. So imagine that happening every time you lost, seeing that physical head right in front of you, and then just a bit of your neck coming out, and then it goes to black.
Oh, but actually, Last of Us would work quite well because of the sound, like the clickers. That would be quite good as well.
Yeah, do these things have headphones, or do you have to have your own special pair?
I'd like to think they were built in, but they might break, so maybe you just have your own pair.
Yeah, but then I would think he'll be in the thing, because if you already have this big clunky thing on your head, you don't want to then have headphones over the top.
Yeah, it may be alright. But yeah, sound could play such an important element as well when it's like stereo and it's around your head.
Yeah, you would really appreciate like a good sound design. It becomes so important.
Oh, see, I want to play that game now, but I don't at the same time.
God, because I know when it comes to the Oculus Rift, the big one is let's play Slender with it. Oh, I'm spooked. And I think people are coming away from that saying it's awesome. It's like terrifying, but it's really awesome. So if it's like, again, a real game, because Slender's not a real game, but if it is like something like The Last of Us and they do this horror experience, that would be really cool, but I don't want to do it if I do.
So what would you pick as a game then?
I would really like to see something like a Mario sort of game where it's surreal reality. Like, you know, where you're just walking around and there's just this massive dumb Goomba. And you're like, okay, well, that's weird. Like, you know, something like that, where it's like everything's off. Because then it would just turn a game like a kid's game into like almost a drug trip, where you're just walking through this nice happy land, like playing Kirby, and then you just eat someone, and then it's just like everyone's happy and all that, but you're killing enemies. It would make a really weird twist on it all if you were actually completely absorbed in a game like that.
I suppose that's the two ends of the spectrum for virtual reality. Would be on one end it would be, oh my god, this looks so realistic, this is amazing, I'm actually there. And on the other end this is absolutely freaky, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good one as well.
Or do you think they could do it with films though? Like, they do it so, like, say take Toy Story, and then they just have it so in every scene you're a character, and then you you don't control anything, you just experience the scene and look around like that.
There's so much potential, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the Nintendo already did the thing with the gamepad where you just, with the gamepad, you have a 360 tour of a place, like the Grand Canyon and under the sea. So then you use the gamepad to look around around the room to check out the view. So I would assume they would do something better than that, and a similar idea with the virtual reality. But it would actually be really cool because it's like you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. They do that. Wait, you're talking about the gamepad on the Wii U?
Yeah.
Okay. They did that a tiny little bit on the 3DS sometimes as well.
Yeah, 3D Land, where you could use the telescopes.
Yeah, like little things like that. Yeah, that full on would be good. Yeah.
Well, I just want to go through every game on my list now. Like Spider-Man, just like being immersed in web swinging above, like through New York, just being that high up. Like, they could really just emulate the feelings of Vertigo with the virtual reality, and it'll be awesome. But I think every time you put on the virtual reality, it'll be like a roller coaster where you're like, this is going to be really cool, but oh god, I'm going to be terrified. Like, it'll be a similar sensation with most of these games.
Yeah, it would certainly take a lot of time to get used to, but I think once you got there, it would be amazing. Yeah,
because now the developers have to find those limits where they have to say, okay, we can't do like The Last of Us to a T, because it would be too horrifying for people to see their neck get ripped out. That's just awful. Like, that's too much. So I don't know if games will get toned down, but I think the way they present like death will be different, you know. So it might just cut a bit before, but to see something actually physically happen to you in a game where you're fully immersed in it would be too much.
People would have heart attacks and die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not look too good. There might have to be like a new set of guidelines for those sort of games.
Well, they have to just be over the top with the safety information. Like Nintendo started to do with the Wii, where it's just every game had safety information. And with the 3DS, they had to do it because of parents were worried that their kids were going to go blind, so they had to go over the top, making sure it's like, no, it's fine, it's safe. So I think that's what they're going to have to do here, so people can't just give it to... Like, imagine like an 8-year-old just gets a hold of it. It's like, I'm going to play Left 4 Dead against the zombies. And then they just get eaten. It's like,
traumatized.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're going to get the horrible prank videos where someone will be asleep, people will put the reality helmet on them, or the headset on them, put on Slender or a horror game, and then they just wake up to it, like their eyes open to that world.
You're thinking of these pranks, aren't you, very quickly?
Yes.
That's a way to wreck a very expensive piece of equipment.
Well, it'll be worth it, I would say.
As long as you film it, get it on YouTube, you get the money back. That YouTube money.
Yeah, man, you got to get it.
You know, go viral. All that kind of stuff. It's fine.
Then you make a video of people reacting to your video, and that's how you get the real cash.
It just goes on. Yeah, you've got a good plan here.
But no, can you imagine that though? Being in that dream state, like you have a weird kind of dream, and then you start hearing noises in your dream, and then you wake up in that weird, like, my brain isn't turned on yet, but you're just experiencing, like, a horror game, or it doesn't even have to be a horror game, but some sort of weird dream reality, like even something, I don't know, I don't have that many games at the moment, but just something like Mario, something kind of weird enough. Your brain would kind of mistake it for actual reality for a short period of time.
It'll be like that cliche in the films where they wake up from the dream and then something bad happens and they wake up from the dream again.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's like, when's it end? Yeah, it'd be traumatizing, horrible.
But it's going to be really good. But I think there are some. Well, I don't want to say negative, but it's going to be really interesting when they.
Well, it's such a new concept. Yeah, there's going to be just so much to change, or at least make new rules for and things. Yeah, and just get used to it. Yeah.
Because we could go through every single sort of game, and I think we would find that every single one would be improved in some way.
But would it? Are there any games that wouldn't work?
Well, it depends on how the movement is, I think. I think every game would pretty much be improved, but if you could figure out the movement of it.
What about Rayman?
Yes.
Really?
Well, again, it's the question of, is it always going to be in first person, or can you have a third person experience? Like, you could probably just have it so the screen it's just a normal TV screen, it's just stretched out over your eyes, and I think that would be an improvement.
Oh, right. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that way.
And I don't know, I've never used one of these headsets, but I would assume that would work as well.
Unless, oh no, I've just realised it won't work for me.
No?
I have a bad eye. What's that going to do? Is that going to ruin it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no.
I don't know how the technology works, but I don't think it works like 3D. I think it works different.
Oh, thank God, because 3D just fails on me every time.
Because I think it's pretty much just got to be a screen in front of your eye, right? Like, I don't know if it's actually a 3D environment, but it's just a screen that's tailored for being right in front of your eyes. But I don't know. I don't know the technology, but
how can they do that without, like, damaging your eyes in some way or another?
Well, I think that's why we haven't seen it, because, like you mentioned, the Virtual Boy came out It came out before I think it's 1995 it came out, and that was a full virtual reality headset. It wasn't very good, but it was the similar sort of concept and idea. So it's just the technology getting there, so it can actually, you can safely have it on your head, and it can actually create the world that you want to see, and I think that's what they've been working towards.
Yeah, and we're finally here.
Yes.
Thank God.
So good.
Took them long enough. Yeah.
Lazy.
What they've been doing these past 10 years. No, 20 years.
Yeah,
oh my
20
God.
years.
Jesus Christ, yeah. 20 years. Oh.
But speaking of the Virtual Boy, can I, complain about a YouTuber? Is that cool?
Of course it's cool.
Well, okay, so I've checked out 2 big YouTubers in the last week. One I liked, one I didn't like. The one I liked was Pro Jared. Now, I actually tweeted out that I disliked him because he's the guy that does 1-minute reviews. And my point on it is that you might as well just give someone a score, because you can't make any... You can make a statement, but you can't actually explain your point. So why should anyone trust what you're saying if you're not explaining yourself? So just give a number. It's the same thing. But then I actually watched his real reviews that are 10 minutes long, and he does a really good job. They're really great reviews. It's very he's coherent, unlike me. He's concise, he gets to the point, he goes through the pros and cons, the things he likes and dislikes, and breaks down the game very well. So overall I do like the guy, I just don't like his 1-minute reviews. So it's a thumbs up from me from that guy when it comes to his normal reviews.
Okay. Does he do what are the ratio of 1 minute? I suppose there's going to be more 1-minute reviews, aren't there?
I think it's about the same.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he still just puts out normal reviews quite a lot, so really it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to like everything a guy likes, you just ignore it.
Yeah.
So I like the guy, because the thing is with me is that I don't like that many big YouTubers, but I like to check them out anyway, just to see. So it was quite refreshing that this guy has hundreds and thousands of views on some of his reviews, but they're actually really good reviews, and he does a good job, and he doesn't try too hard. He just talks about the game, breaks it down, and gives his opinion, and that's exactly what I want from a YouTube reviewer.
Good. What made you watch him in the first place? Just curiosity?
Yeah, just curiosity, It's like, some things I watch means that when it comes up on recommended, it's Pro Jared that comes up quite a lot. So one day I was just like, hey, I'll click on it, see what's going on.
Oh, nice. That's always nice when you find a YouTuber that you think, how did I miss them? Like, they're so big, or whatever, and you think, I really missed them.
Yeah. It's rare as well. Very rare to happen.
Yeah. So what was the other one?
Okay, so the other one is like the opposite, and I only watched one of the videos, so I won't say his whole channel is terrible, because I haven't seen it all, but it's the Game Theorists. I used to think these guys were kind of cool. I think a while ago I watched the Sonic video where he was like, so how fast does Sonic the Hedgehog actually run? And it was pretty interesting because
I remember seeing some of these videos.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was really cool because there's some logic behind what he was saying. He broke it down, he looked at different games, very well researched, well edited, he spoke well, and it was good. I really liked it. So then yesterday, or actually I think it was today, I saw that he had uploaded a video called Wii U is the New Virtual Boy. And I watched it, and it was awful. It's like...
How's that even make any sense, that title?
Well, basically, the whole video is saying that the mistakes that Nintendo made with the Virtual Boy, they're also making with the Wii U, so if they just learned not to make the same mistakes back with the Virtual Boy, then they wouldn't be failing with the Wii U.
Okay.
And it was just so trying way too hard, exaggerating facts, twisting things. Like, he was saying that the Wii U was overpriced, and he was saying that the reason it's overpriced is because you have to buy a battery for the gamepad, which you don't. You can, but you don't. And you have to buy a Wiimote for it, which, again, you can, but most people have Wiimote, so you don't. And you don't need it, you only need it for multiplayer. So if you're just playing Super Mario 3D World, you don't need it. And then saying that you had to buy a game for the thing. So he was saying, it's really expensive when it comes down to it to own a Wii U, because you have to buy all these different things. And it's like, well, yeah, you do have to buy a game, but that's every single console. And you don't have to buy the other stuff. So it's just stuff like that. And it made me think of the news. Like, when you watch a certain news show and they just twist everything to try and make it more, or to try to get a reaction out of people and make it seem more dramatic.
Like the Daily Mail.
Yeah, like the Daily Mail, where they have this one stat and then they just report it in this way where it's trying to get people to like, oh my god, we can't, have you heard about this? This is outrageous. I can't, oh my god. And it was the exact same tactics, and the video was edited well, but his voice it even sounded like someone who was on the news trying to get a response out of people for the sake of views. So I watched the video and it was like, any good points he made were just overshadowed by the fact he was trying way too hard to get people to react to what he was saying. Like, if he just put out a video just comparing the two and just kind of talked about it and didn't twist things and was honest, and like the title was Wii U is the New Virtual Boy, so he didn't even allow any sort of room for like explaining why the Wii U is actually different in some ways. He just said, these are the reason why they're the same. One of them was battery life, by the way, which, Jesus Christ. And then just trying to slag off the Wii U, and it's like, if you want to make a video saying the problems of the Wii U, go right ahead. Fair enough, there's plenty to list and there's a lot to talk about. But if you're just going to try and compare it to the Virtual Boy and twist stuff, it's just terrible. It was just a bad video, and it was annoying to see because it got like 1 million views and it's very popular, but it was just frustrating.
Does he have something against Nintendo?
Well, he says that he doesn't, and I don't think he does, because he does a lot of theories about Nintendo games. Like, the one before was, are Pokemon just humans, or are humans actually Pokemon? So I didn't watch that one because I'm not interested in it, but I don't think he hates Nintendo, but I think he was just trying too hard, and just trying too hard to get people to talk and to pay attention to him, when really it's YouTube. Don't be like the news. People come to YouTube because it's people actually just doing whatever they want and reporting it and on talking about things in an honest way. You would go to the news if you wanted like this fake, like, it's not professionalism, but they just gloss it over everything to try to make you think it is professional. So I would go to the news if I wanted that. I go to YouTube for people talking honestly. So when I don't see that, it's a complete shame.
Interesting. So,
because
do you think that's... No, go on.
Well, it's just, again, it's also a shame because he comes up with some great ideas, like with the Sonic thing. So there are some good ideas there, but maybe just because he's become really popular on YouTube, maybe he's just let it go to his head a little bit, where he's now allowing himself to make weird, or just not even wackier video, but videos that are just more reactionary and meant to make people react to it. So that might be it, but either way, not good.
There must have been people in the comments that were calling him out, though. Surely.
No, I think
you can't be the only Wii fan. Wii U fan.
Well, I think people weren't calling him out. They were just having the like, it's not the Virtual Boy, because the comment I left was just not even addressing any of his points. I was just saying, this looks like a news article, or this seems like something someone would put on the news just to get people to react to it. So most people weren't saying this is a bad video. They were saying, you leave the Wii U alone, Mario, and stuff. Or they were just saying, yeah, the Wii U sucks, exactly what you would expect from YouTube. But people weren't saying this is a bad video, and which is fine. They don't have to dislike it, but I think it was bad.
So does he advertise his channel as an otherwise, fairly sound, fair place?
I would
say, what's so odd?
Yeah, like the game theorist is, is supposed to be like logical and like logical arguments, and that's how he attacks things. So, yeah, I think he does.
So that's what was kind of a bit jarring, is that it seemed like that was not. It was just there to kind of, like you say, spark up some hype.
Yeah, that was it. Just twisting stuff. Like, he wasn't even really lying, but it was just saying, like, with the battery life thing I briefly mentioned, his first point was that the Virtual Boy, it got through AA batteries a lot, and the Wii U gamepad only has 3.5 hours battery life, which I don't think is true, by the way. I've gotten a lot more hours out of it, but that's what he said, so it's
got to be true.
Yeah, they're the two things. And then he said that the Wii U was rushed technology, which I don't even know what he was talking about there. Like, it's not rushed technology. It might be technology people don't care about and don't think adds anything to games, which is fair enough, but it's not rushed, because the whole point with the Virtual Boy is that it was rushed, and he actually was kind of logical in that regard, where it was like, hey, there was an interview where they put this out so they could focus on the N64, and it's like, fair enough. I mean, it was fair enough when he was just talking about the Virtual Boy, but then when he tried to link it all to the Wii U, he was just kind of pushing it. And like, one of his points was that there's no games on the Wii U, and that's one of the reasons why it's failing, which is just wrong, because he also had a second point where he said there's no games and no third-party support. You could say there's no third-party support on the Wii U, because there isn't, but to say there's also no games coming from Nintendo is just pushing it, just trying way too hard to make this work and get people talking. And I'm talking about it now, sadly, but
it's worked.
I don't respect him or like what he does, but it was just wrong what he was saying.
Go back to Pro Jared. Go back to a nice review.
I will. I'll just because I was interested in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, so I watched its review, and he was very compelling, Pro Jared. Made a lot of good points.
That's nice.
Yeah. We'll move on, because...
Well, I haven't watched the video, so I can't really say much about that.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, you can check it out, and just... it's when I hear that voice, that weird way that it's like radio or the news, where they put something into their voice, where they're just trying to sound more interesting and professional, and it just comes off as just trying too hard. Like when I do my reviews, I put on a sort of voice, but I don't put on a voice. I just change the way I talk slightly, so I'm presenting myself correctly because I'm trying to make points. And that's what people try to do, but they think if they put even more into it and try to be more presentable, then it's better. But then you just don't sound like a person anymore, and it's really hard to hear sometimes.
Yeah, I've got to listen to this video because I'm. It sounds like news, but it's. Yeah, okay.
Well, it came out a couple of weeks ago. I just only checked it out now, and I mean, I think I saw another video titles that had a similar sort of flame, like attracting troll thing, but I don't know. It's just a shame because I thought that guy was pretty good, and I'm gonna wait until what you think when you watch it before. I don't want to completely dismiss the guy and say he's terrible at what he does, but I don't know. It's just I didn't like it.
Well, from the sounds of it, and I don't mean this in any kind of offensive way, because a lot of people do it now that YouTube is a viable source of income, is that he's just playing that YouTube game where it's like, if any attention it receives is good attention. So, they can do that through thumbnails or capital letters in the title, whatever it takes. So.
Well, it's just with certain part of YouTube. Is the analogy I was thinking of after I watched the video was reality shows. Like, do you remember like Big Brother 1, when it was like legitimately people in a house talking and interacting, and they just showed it on TV like a lot and put the highlights. It's like, here's what people did today, but they were just like normal people. But then you cut forward to where we are now, and like the big one is like the Kardashians.
And we're on Channel 5.
Yeah, it's Channel 5, and it's Celebrity Big Brother. And then they just kind of have producers on the show that come up with these wacky sort of things that you can do. So it's still being presented as reality, but in fact it's not at all. And that's what YouTube has become, or big YouTubers, where it used to be just people talking and putting their opinion out there and doing what they wanted to do. But now it's become assisted reality YouTube, where people put way too much into it because it's now a business, and it just has lost what it used to be.
You know what that is? There's a word for it.
Oh.
It's Flanderization.
Flanders.
Yeah, Ned Flanders.
God damn it, Flanders. I knew it was him.
It's all about how Ned was originally just a friendly neighbour who owned a leftorium, and he was a little bit annoying because their family was better than the Simpsons.
And then both his wives died.
Oh god, yeah. Well, what? Okay. And now he's super religious nut who has nothing else to his personality. That's kind of like where they exaggerate characteristics that it becomes something completely different to how it originally was.
Oh yeah, because Ned Flanders used to get angry.
Yeah, he used to just be a normal guy, just better than Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
And now he's only a religious idiot.
What season did that happen? Was it season 3? Because in season 2 they had the mini golf episode where Flanders is just a normal person.
Yeah.
But I can't think when. I guess it has to be season 3.
Well, where the religious side comes into it.
Yeah, where it's just that's being forced.
I guess so. Yeah.
But the religious stuff only comes from the fact that when he's supposed to be better than Homer is in the Christmas special, and it's Christmas, so it's a religious holiday. I think that's where it all comes from.
Maybe. And they just took that and rolled with it.
Yeah. Like, I think there's other characters in The Simpsons had a similar thing where, like, the situation they were introduced in was very specific, so now that's just a part of their personality no matter what.
Yeah. Ralph, another one.
Yeah, Ralph.
Ralph is now just, that character there for a silly line. When he used to... Like the episode where he dates Lisa, he actually has a personality. Oh my god, yeah. That's amazing. There's lots of examples, and even on YouTube as well.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, well... Again, it's not all doom and gloom, because again, I found a YouTuber I liked, and I found one I disliked. So, there is a lot of good YouTubers out there, just... Some of them are more popular, and the business has changed because it's now a business.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But let's move on to another decision that was made purely because of business. The Incredibles 2 and Cars 3 have been announced. Now, we have got very little information to go on. The only thing I think was confirmed is that Brad Bird, who was the director and writer of the original Incredibles, will return as a writer for Incredibles 2.
Oh man, we're on a Simpsons roll. He was a writer for The Simpsons as well.
Yes, he was.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so a lot of people love The Incredibles and say it's one of the best Pixar films. So what do you think about it?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, I'll be honest. But I do remember it being very good. I think it was... I was very young. I must have been... What year did it come out? 2005?
No, it's 4, because I think Cars was 5.
Oh, 4. So that's... Yeah. 10 years by me. So I was quite... Yeah, very young. So... I remember liking it. I think it's a good film.
So it's not one of the standout ones for you?
Standout in... It's probably in top 5, but not near the top, no.
Well, while we're here, do you want to do your top 5 Pixar films?
Oh, I'm going to get a list up now, you realise. I can't think of them all.
I can.
Even the ones I like. Go on, then you do yours quickly.
Oh, God. Oh, no, I don't want to do my list. Okay, so...
Why not?
Number 1 is WALL-E. I like WALL-E. I really like the little robot. I think...
Overrated.
No, I think visually it's amazing. I think it's a very sweet film because it's a very... In a way, it's what you want from like a love story in a kid's film. It's a very simple core, but it gets thrown into this bigger picture. And I really like what just visually it looks great, and then what they do with humanity as well. I like that kind of angle that they pull in the second half, and it's just really emotional as well. Like, I think it just hits all the right buttons that you want from a family animated film, where it's gorgeous to look at. The characters are sweet and nice, and it's not the most funniest Pixar film, but I don't think it really needs it. And then it has the interesting ideas as well, so it just hit all the right notes for me. So WALL-E's my number 1. Number 2, I might have to say Up.
Really?
Yeah, because Up again was like the most emotional one, and that first 20 minutes is great. Like, it's really, really good. When I first saw it, I didn't like the ending as much because I don't like the dogs and the squeaky voice. I think the dog idea is kind of funny, but the squeaky voice is just...
I like the squeaky voice.
Oh god, it's just so
it.
silly that I just... Ugh. But I still think Up is probably one of the funniest Pixar films as well. Just the old man and the kid, that just really made me laugh. And yeah, it's Up, so I would put that as second. Then the other 3, I think my third one I would go Finding Nemo, and that's because, for the obvious reasons, it's got all the same quality as WALL-E, but it's under the sea, and it's a really nice story, and the father-son angle is great, and visually again spectacular. And when I was a kid, I just really kind of enjoyed it. I think it came out at the exact right time for me, because it was 2003, I want to say. So it was when I was just I could like appreciate the film as an older listener rather than a younger one. Like with A Bug's Life, I like that as like a kiddie, silly, flick, woo, like that sort of thing. But with Finding Nemo, I could appreciate on the different levels. And actually, when that came out, I saw it with my dad. It was just me and my dad went to go see it, so I think that also helped. So yeah, so Finding Nemo, 4 and 5. I guess I got to put one of the Toy Stories in there. but I'm not too sure
About
which.
damn time.
I don't know which one I would put in, because one's the classic, two's the like, wow, what a great sequel, and then three was like, oh yeah, Toy Story still is awesome. I think I would have to put in two, because I haven't seen three enough times. I've only seen it like twice. So I couldn't say definitely three over two. So I'm going to say two, because I just really liked it. Like, one was great and is a classic, but I think two just kind of improved on it, like just a bit more, just with the characters and everything, and it was just funnier as well. So yeah, so two. And then my fifth one, because my gut is telling me Monsters Inc., but I'm trying to think of the other ones. So we got Toy Story, Bugs Life, Monsters Inc., Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo. I don't know.
Ratatouille?
I did really like Ratatouille. Monsters University came out, and there was Brave and Cars 2, and I don't know. I'm going to skip my fifth if that's okay, because there's nothing that really stands out that makes me think absolutely got to put that one in. I want to put Monsters University because I actually really liked it and thought it was underrated. So yeah, sure, Monsters University. I'm going to throw that one in.
There you go. Why not? Okay.
So that's me. WALL-E, Up, Finding Nemo, Toy Story 2, Monsters University.
Well, our top three is completely different.
Oh, no.
I think my top one's Toy Story 2.
Okay.
I think I would, because it came out a few years later, I must just remember that one more because I was older. Plus, it is as good as the first one, I'd say, if not better.
Yeah, you're saying as good, but you're putting it as your number one, so you think it is better.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose that's a good way to sell. Number two, Monsters Inc., because I was obsessed with that film when I was younger. Number three would be the first Toy Story. Now, 4 or 5 are the tricky ones. They are tricky. Because, by the way, I'm not putting Up or WALL-E or anything.
No.
I mean, I can understand they are good films. WALL-E less so,
no.
but Up is a good film.
Just
I
wants
did
to
like
help.
Up. WALL-E, I thought was okay. 4, I'm going to put something is calling me to Bugs Life. I don't know why though. I think it's just because of the caterpillar. I really loved the caterpillar when I was younger. When he becomes a butterfly, I just remember that bit so well.
Yeah, I loved that one. That was my favorite. I had all Bugs Life stuff. Like I had a dancing flick. This ant's got to dance, and then he dances.
And who did the voice of the what was it?
Yeah, wasn't grasshopper.
Was it a grasshopper? I was trying to think if it was that or I don't know.
Yeah, they're just brown.
It was
someone big.
Yeah,
he did
and he was just
great job.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a really good villain.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best Pixar villains.
So screw it, I'm putting Bugs Life 4th, and number 5 can be The Incredibles.
Okay. So you do like The Incredibles enough that you would put it in your 5?
I mean, what other ones are there? There's Finding Nemo, which is good, but are you looking forward to Finding Dory?
Not really.
Okay.
I'll wait until there's a trailer or whatever. Actually, no, not even the trailer would convince me. I'll wait until I see it. Like, I will definitely see it, but I have to wait and see. As
Ratatouille it was alright. Brave, didn't see. And then you got all the Cars crap.
Yeah, God.
How disappointing.
God, Cars 2 was so bad. Like,
it's the first major just bad film as well.
Yeah, because that was 2011. So it was before that. 2008 was WALL-E, then 2009 was Up, 2010 was Toy Story 3, and then Cars 2.
Yeah, what a drop.
They fell hard with that film. So bad. The water effects are really good in that film, though.
Ooh.
Like, the opening scene is amazing water effects on the ocean.
Well, just watch the first bit then.
Yeah.
and then just stop there.
Mm.
Maybe they just spent all of their quality on those films and they run out.
And Michael Caine.
And it does have Michael Caine, yeah. It was John Lasseter, though, who did Toy Story. It's odd.
Is that odd?
Well, you'd think he would be really good. I
Oh,
know
yeah,
that he
odd.
really likes cars. Like, he really likes cars as a kind of hobby, so that's probably why he did it.
Oh, yeah, it was him, wasn't it? Because I remember I tweeted that out. It was like the same
Yeah.
person that brought Pixar and made them relevant also almost killed them with Cars 2.
Yeah, it's just odd. No, I didn't see that.
God.
Mm.
I think, well, the problem with Cars 2 is that it's not like a horrendous film. It's just there's no heart to it. Mater is the main person, and there was just no point in it. Like, there was just nothing to it. There was no twist that made it interesting. The world is, like, the least interesting one, and that's why most people dislike Cars 1. I disagree. I thought Cars 1 was pretty good, but the world, yeah, you don't need to return to that world. So that was mostly it. It was just a pointless sequel. And after they had shown that Toy Story 2 and 3 were just really great sequels and they had the ideas, it was so sad to see them then put out a rushed, should have been straight to DVD sequel to Cars.
Yeah, like planes.
Yeah, like planes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
boy.
so then they've got Cars 3.
Yeah, I don't think we can really say much apart from who cares.
Well, if anything, the fact that they failed so bad with Cars 2 means they would maybe pay more attention to it this time and it should be better.
I guess, but they should have done that in the first place, really.
They dropped the ball, alright? They dropped the ball. Okay? That's all that happened.
And I'm not
Maybe they'll-
happy because the only reason Cars 3 is happening because it's such a commercial success.
That's true.
Everyone saw Cars 2, and then Cars 2 being bad also affected the Brave and Monsters University. I mean, Brave didn't deserve big figures, but Monsters University did. But that, like, got... I think they spent like 200 million on that film in the budget, and then it grossed 600 million, which was nowhere near Despicable Me 2.
Yeah, I remember us looking that up with the budget. Yeah, it was, yeah.
So that's the sad part about Cars 2, is that it's tainted the studio where you won't go and see the new Pixar film automatically anymore, even if it is like Monsters University.
I reckon that, I mean, Cars 3 maybe not, but Incredibles, a lot of people have been waiting a long time for a sequel to that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be quite big.
Well, people have been waiting is because the film ends like setting up a sequel.
It does, with the little baby, doesn't it?
Yeah, with the baby and also the mole guy showing up.
Wasn't the mole guy in the game, though?
Yeah.
In the video game?
Yeah. But it's still
So-
like, okay, now they're proper superheroes, so now we can do that stuff.
Mm.
Which would actually completely take away from the whole point of the film, but whatever.
Maybe it's kind of like they're mirroring Nolan's Batman trilogy.
It's exactly like it.
So now they're going to be the Dark Knight.
The Incredible
pretty much.
Rises night.
Rises has got nothing to do with that yet.
Damn it.
Get that Rises out of there.
Cars Rises.
There you go. Yeah. But all I can say is, Incredibles. Who voiced the Incredible? Mr. Incredible.
Oh. They were once again big names.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to look it up now.
The only voice actor I know is the little fashion woman, and that's because that was Brad Bird.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's him doing a dumb voice.
Oh my god, I've got to listen to her again now. I did not know that. Apparently, I've actually heard of none of these people. It was Craig T. Nelson.
Ah, Craigie!
Craigie.
Craigers.
Okay, well, maybe not. But I was going to say, I still like all the voices and everything. That doesn't take away from that. But there was a good set of characters, and although actually, was the villain any good?
The villain was fine.
The weird ginger kid.
Yeah, it's not the best Pixar villain, but he was fine. It was more about the family than anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was like a rival film. Like, that's not what they were going for. So the fact that he wasn't great didn't bring the film down, because it's all about the family instead. They were all their own villains in a very real way.
Oh. It's going very deep.
So deep.
Yeah, I don't... Like you say, though, I don't know exactly how a sequel could work, though.
They would, yeah, that's it. If Brad Bird's on board, so that's great. So if he has an idea and he can make it work, then great. But at the same time, Cars 2 has tainted all of Pixar. So potentially, if Brad Bird isn't involved enough on the project, it might just get turned into something not very good. Although you didn't rate Ratatouille that much, and he wrote and directed that one as well.
I didn't rate it that much, no.
I thought it was solid. I thought it was a... What made Ratatouille was the ending.
I can't even remember the ending.
The ending has the critic giving the review.
No.
Ah.
A long time since I've watched it.
No, that was what made the whole film. The film up to that point was like pretty good, and they, I like Patton Oswalt as the little rat thing, and kind of funny, and it was decent. But it was just that ending that made it. Like I think.
Wait, how can the ending save it so much? What was so good about it?
It was just. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just there was something really poetic about how they ended it off, and it just gave it a really good sense of meaning. Like the whole film suddenly meant something a bit different to just a silly kids film. Like it was very adult the way they ended it. Like I think it has the best ending out of any Pixar film.
Even Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, that was a bit more for shock value.
Wait, what's the ending of Toy Story 3?
Well, yeah. Oh, I was thinking about the...
How ending are we talking?
See, I was talking about when they're about to die, but I'm guessing you were talking about Andy.
Yeah.
No, it was... Ratatouille had a better ending.
Okay.
I guess you got to rewatch it or something. I don't know. I'm going to rewatch it. I think I'm going to rewatch one of these Pixar films.
It was one of those films that was on at Christmas, and I kind of half watched it probably one time. So yeah, I probably do need to rewatch it.
Yeah, that ending. Oh.
Yeah.
But okay, so I looked it up, and we won't be getting these films for a long time because the next one is Inside Out, which is a film set inside of a insecure girl's brain, dealing with the 5 different emotions.
Interesting.
Where it's like joy, sadness, and all that. And then that's June 2015, and then after that, in November 2015, is The Good Dinosaur. That was meant to come out this year, but got delayed, so it's now coming out, 2015, which I don't know that much about, and it doesn't seem like that interesting of an idea, so we'll have to wait and see if Pixar can actually make an interesting twist on dinosaurs.
Yeah. Dinosaurs have been done a lot, so just do something very good with that.
It's not a great name. It's The Good Dinosaur. Ugh.
What? There's got to be a bad dinosaur then.
Oh.
That's the villain.
No, they're all
I've called it
they're all
already.
just great. They're all great dinosaurs.
So the story has no kind of antagonist. That's going to be great.
Well, no, I think it'd be... I don't know what exactly they could be doing, but to have... Because did you ever see the film Dinosaur that was animated in Disney?
Yeah.
That should have been really good, but it wasn't.
Again, I was very young. I remember being very close to the screen and hurting my neck.
Well,
that's all I can remember from that film.
Well, it took place as the dinosaur era was like ending, and it had like everyone running away and trying to escape it, a bit like Ice Age, but they were trying to be a bit more mature with it, but it just didn't work and fell apart. So if Pixar tried to do that, as in have a slightly mature take on these dinosaurs, and like it's already happened, like A Land Before Time, wasn't that like mature and more adult or more?
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, so if they kind of go with that angle, then it could work, but we don't know much about the film, so can't say. And then in June 2016 is Finding Dory.
Yeah. Well, that's closer than I thought it'd be.
Yeah. So then...
Actually, no, it's not.
2017 will be an original film, hopefully, and then we'll probably get either The Incredibles 2 or Cars 3 after that. So it's a long way off.
I'm seeing on this list, are you on the Wikipedia page?
No, I wrote it down earlier.
Oh, right. On the Wikipedia page, it's got untitled Pixar film about Dia de los Muertos.
Hmm.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's like the Festival of Death or something like that.
Yeah, I remember in my old school actually having to like make all the skeletons and the weird things that you know move around on the parade. Oh man, that would look so good if Disney did that. Pixar.
Well, I think that will probably be the 2017 film then, because they've been talking about that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But no, so overall, it's hard to get excited about Pixar sequels, but Brad Bird being on board helps, but we can't get excited about it anymore, sadly.
Well, the best thing about Disney films or Pixar films usually is when it is new and you don't know what it's like and you don't know what it's about. So sequels in that way are already kind of have already failed a little bit, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be good films, but in a way it won't have that same Pixar sort of spark to it.
No. Well, I mean, they did it with Toy Story, and I think the fact that The Incredibles 2 is going to come so far after the original Incredibles, which I think means that they are going to come up with something different, or it's definitely not going to be the same film again.
The mum and dad are dead, and the
Good.
children have grown up, and it's all about them.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, I have to look after that crazy fashion lady,
Mm.
because she's now really old and kooky.
So she's still alive, but the parents somehow didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I can see it.
They should just hire me right
That's
now.
right. You and
I'll
Brad.
replace John Lasseter, because he is obviously failed now.
Oh.
He's kicked out, I will take over.
MrMuckluckable presents Cars 3.
No, none do Cars 3. I'm on Incredibles 2.
No, you've got to do Cars 3. The caroning.
The caroning.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cars, though. Maybe that would be a good thing.
Well,
though.
neither did they.
That's true. That's true. I'll try and get Michael Caine again.
Yes. He can redeem
That'll
himself.
That'll make everything better.
God. They got the guy from the Italian Job to do a voice and they messed it up. Damn it.
How could they do such a thing? In fact, the whole cast can be Michael Caine, and then it can't fail.
Well, with animation, that can be so easy to do.
Exactly. I mean, it's a lot of work for Michael Caine, but it'll be a lot of money for him.
I like to think that Michael Caine does that anyway. Like, he just dubs over animated films in his spare time.
He has his own private collection of films.
Let's watch, let's watch Finding Michael Caine.
You know, all the Batman films, he's got his own collection where it's just him as Batman. He's so jealous.
Caine Begins.
Yeah, he's so jealous of that damn Christian Bale. Was like, I should be Batman.
That's why.
So he just voices over it.
That's why he's crying the whole time in the third one.
Yeah. After Bruce. Yeah, he's just depressed.
He just dubs over it with manic evil laughing instead.
Poor old Michael Caine. I think we're making him out to be some kind of sad old
monster.
man. Maybe he is, though.
We don't know, he isn't.
Well, true, very true.
He seemed like
Who's
it
to
in The
say?
Dark Knight Rises with all the crying.
He did cry a lot.
Yeah.
He's good at crying.
Oh, Michael.
I wonder why he's so good at crying.
Is this you being a psychologist again?
Yeah,
Why
exactly
do you cry, Michael?
I could charge a lot of money for that as well.
Good. £20 you could make.
Wow.
That's nice. That's tax-free. That's pretty good.
I'm going to get on that. I might not be on the next podcast.
Oh.
I will be interviewing Michael Caine.
No.
Sorry, you've persuaded me.
I would think you would bring Michael Caine to the podcast.
Okay then, I'll do that instead. Next week, guest starring Michael Caine. Could you imagine?
Nope, there's only Caine here podcast.
Yeah, we just go and it's just Michael Caine on his own.
Talk about films.
No,
That is
it's only
dubbed
Caine,
over.
yeah. No, Michael Caine trying to talk about video games.
Yeah, so, there's this Assassin's Creed game.
Wasn't he in that Batman game?
Oh, well, Batman Begins, the game.
Did he voice anything in that?
Oh,
You
see,
could talk about that.
that was when EA was getting the voices. So there's a chance. But then that means they
He
would
can
have had
talk
to get like Liam Neeson and Christian Bale as well. So
That seems like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get Pierce Brosnan and Judi Dench. What are they doing? But not Michael Caine.
No, that's too much. He's a very busy man.
Doubting
Oh
his
my
films.
god. Oh my god, it was. I just looked it up. They were voiced by Christian Bale and Michael Caine.
Oh.
And Liam Neeson and Katie Holmes and Tom Wilkinson.
What about Gary Oldman?
No.
Oh, for goodness
What the
sake.
hell, Gary? Letting the team
Gazza.
down. He was voiced by Fred Tass or someone.
Ah, Fred can do one.
He's no... Everyone else, pretty much. It had Morgan Freeman, Cillian Murphy, everyone.
Not Gary Oldman.
Oh my goodness.
That's probably why you could understand his dialogue in the game. But not
I've
in
lost
the
a
film.
little bit of respect. I've lost a little bit of respect for Gary Oldman.
Come on, Gary. Although he was he was in Black Ops and World at War, so
That's true. He's probably busy being a Russian.
Russian guy rushing around.
Yeah. Yeah. We really should end the podcast.
We should. That's enough Gary talk for 1 week.
Yeah. Filled the quota.
And I just screwed up my paper and threw it away to be dramatic, but that had what games were coming out. I think
You have to do the walk of shame now.
no, I think
The
I can.
unscrunch of shame.
I think I can remember. The only one is Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
Oh,
And
right.
that comes out on the 28th. It's been released to decent reviews, but not amazing reviews. Like, pretty much what they're saying is that it's good for what it is, but the concept is flawed because they're two different sort of games, so they don't mesh as well. But it still is meant to be decent.
Is it like a jigsaw puzzle piece? Two pieces that you're just jamming together?
A little bit, yeah.
Which fit eventually, but need a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. Not perfect.
But it does work in the end.
Yeah. But then in terms of films, The Muppets 2 is out, which I really want to go see because The Muppets 1 was awesome. And then also on the 26th, we have Captain America 2 Winter Soldier. So I will be going to see it the day it comes out. So next week I can report back.
Which one?
Captain America.
Muppets? Oh, Captain America.
Muppets I'll go
Really?
see with my family at some point. I can't go see that as an adult. It's sad. But Captain America I can go see, even though I want to see the Muppets more.
Why on the day it comes out?
Because it comes out on a Wednesday and it's Orange Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
Saving
Makes sense.
saving some money.
Yeah, makes sense. Are you going to go there see it just to moan about the Marvel films? Or are you hoping it's
Absolutely.
going to be good?
Got to.
Of course. All right, then. Good.
Before I see any Marvel film.
Report back with a rant for me then.
Okay, it might be good though.
It might be.
I might actually enjoy it. I didn't come out of 4-2 hating it. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't come out hating it. So it'll probably be the same with this, where I won't hate it, but I won't love it.
Will you like it?
Maybe find out next week.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
That's a nice hook
That is.
for next podcast.
That's done. They're coming
That's
back.
done. Yeah. So made it this far, you're coming back.
Alright, well, before we end off, what's going on with your channel this week?
Same stuff again.
Ah, boring.
Still the same.
God.
Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, and a bit of Minecraft.
Every week with this guy.
I know. It's we're right in the middle of these games. It's that point where it's in the middle and you're just getting through them.
Right, so me, now that you've asked, is same old with Donkey Kong and this is embarrassing. Spider-Man.
Wow, you forget your own Let's Plays. Do you listen to this guy? Oh my
I
goodness.
finished recording it all a week or two ago, so I won't be playing it again. But I'm still uploading it, so it kind of left my mind a little bit.
Okay, that's your excuse, is it?
Yes, it is. And I'm sticking by it.
Oh, damn it! One more. Oh no, carry on.
Okay. Well, only one more thing to say is that earlier today I recorded the review audio for my next review, so I will edit that and have it out by next week. Maybe Friday, Saturday.
Okay, that's good. I can't really ask you anything about it, can I?
No.
Because you're not going to say anything.
No. Well, it came
No.
out 2008. That's all I will say.
Oh, there's a hint for you.
So it's not new.
Okay. Before we end the podcast, I very quickly want to moan. I moaned in a episode of Jack and Daxter, but I'm going to moan here.
About that Amy woman.
Amy woman, not her, just Uncharted. You know how I'm desperately hoping for Uncharted 2 to become better. It still is crap.
Okay.
It's still crap, and I'm so disappointed because I'm on chapter roughly 18.
Oh, wow.
And there's only 26 in the game, so I'm near the end, and it is the same damn game. It's the same game as number 1. I can't believe it.
So you hate it more than Uncharted 1?
Yes, because it should be better. It should have more storyline than just getting caught and then finding treasure and then, oh my god, it's the same.
But isn't it more action-packed and intense?
No.
Oh no.
I'm so angry when I play this game. I make myself angry because it's like, oh, look, another firefight. But I make myself go through it. I'm like, oh look, now we're doing this again. Oh, now I've got to shoot these people. I'm so angry when I play it, but I must finish it.
I like to think that the podcast is the reason why you're so angry with it.
Well, by next podcast, I would have finished it, and I will give my final thoughts like Jerry Springer.
That'll be interesting.
They won't be good unless some miraculous turn of events occur when they introduce a whole new mechanic right at the very end. Like Donkey Kong. There you go. I watch your Let's Play.
Oh, yeah. That does.
See, Uncharted doesn't do that. It's the same crap all the way through.
Yeah. Well, you're... See, look, now I'm in the minority with a lot of stuff, and so are you, so we're just making this hate pit on the internet.
Uncharted sucks.
Oh.
I'm saying it.
Worse?
No, it's not worse.
Among thieves, who would steal this crap, am I right?
I wouldn't. I would chuck it in the bin.
Ouch.
I'd throw it at an orphan.
No, the orphans.
The orphans are back. I have something against those orphans. I don't know what. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't just giving it to the orphan be like nice for the orphan? But I guess not, because they would then play.
They won't have a PlayStation. Oh, if they do, that's a good form of punishment. Make them play it. Yeah, I just sit behind them and prod them.
Yeah.
No, it's another firefight. Don't make me do it, Joe. Play it.
Stay behind cover, then pop out again.
I might use that as, that's a good punishment. Thank you for that.
Well, you know what I think? That makes you sound a bit like a Nazi. Thank you very much, everyone. That's been a podcast for this week.
Wow.
We'll see you guys next week for more of this.
Yay, Nazis. God.